so excited to bring this series, cause this guy, he's undefeated on our channel. A BlizzCon finalist. The Zerg who took down Cyril. He is Reynor! Hailing from Italy, he's ranked number 4 in the world. His South Korean Terran opponent is ranked number 6 in the world. He is INnoVation. Only when Titans collide do we get a series like this. This series comes from the group stages of Homestory Cup, a special event during the COVID quo. We've got ourselves a 16 pool coming out of Raynor. This is a less common alternate opening. Either there's some kind of one-base cheese planned or this is defensive. Like a lot of other top Terrans right now, INnoVation has been showcasing 2 racks proxies. An early pool is one way you can get ready to defend and counter. But we know that INnoVation is doing no such thing. Okay, here we go. Raynor is going to drop a hatchet as natural. So this really is just a more conservative opening. Long term, as this plays out, Raynor will pay a bit of an economic price for this. It's nothing that can't be compensated for, but in a way, INnoVation has scored the first punch and he doesn't even know it yet. He has not yet scouted. He may do so after his barracks completes. Pool is done, and we're going to have 6 lings out of Raynor. And a queen, of course. The extractor comes only now. INnoVation's got a Reaper underway. And since his build is the Reaper expand, he's gonna need to expand. It's a command center built directly at his natural. These 2 opponents have only met on the current patch once before. It was a tight match in which Raynor took INnoVation 3-2. That was the Wardy TV Spring Championship. Inno's finally gonna scout and his timing couldn't be worse because the lings are out on the map. Oh, that is a lucky SCV. 6 lings pass him on move command, but 2 more are gonna pick him up. He's gonna have to juke and jive for his life if he doesn't want to be our first blood. The Reaper is out, but he's not coming to the rescue. He's patrolling the Terran natural. He knows there's 4 more lings waiting to try to get inside. Somehow that SCV is still alive. He's leading the lings all the way back home. Slow lings do have a microscopic speed advantage. Oh, Raynor pulls them back. I think he was getting worried. He was getting lured into a trap. He suspects there's a Reaper out there somewhere. And the world's luckiest SCV is going to puff out his chest as he makes it back safely home. Raynor and INnoVation did play each other at the actual Homestory Cup at the end of 2019. That was a best of 5 in which Raynor won 3-0. But INnoVation has been climbing the ranks steadily since. And Raynor's going to take his 3rd at the alternate low ground location. Inno's going to do a quick patrol of his own high ground 3rd location. We've definitely seen Zergs hide stuff there on Simulacrum before. Oh, look at this tight reactor switch. There's less than a heartbeat between the time the reactor finishes building and the factory takes it and starts up those Hellions. INnoVation is a macro god and he does 1-1-1 at its finest. Raynor's double queens are going to have no trouble zoning out that Reaper. But he is going to get the scout off to confirm the unorthodox location of Raynor's 3rd. In the meantime, those 2 initial Hellions are just about to complete. And while that happens, the Reaper's gonna sneak up into the main and the Reaper ramp. Seriously, I wanna know who builds those things. Raynor's lings are there. Oh, he's gonna try for the surround. No, the Reaper's gonna take some damage, but he is gonna slip through and he's gonna escape. Reaper drops down to the natural. There are 2 queens there. They're firing shots. The grenade gets 1, but Raynor's tightening the loop. Can he bring it down? He gets it. And the first blood goes to Raynor. But meanwhile, the Hellion production has climbed to 4 with 2 more in the works. Raynor's gonna try to slip in an Overlord and get the 4-1-1. INnoVation did make a single Marine before he started his reactor. INnoVation starts Stim but changes it to concussive shells. We've seen INnoVation pull a fake concussive shell upgrade before. He did it to Cyril. The Viking's gonna cut that Overlord's life even shorter. But 4 Hellions are gonna try to poke inside the Zerg natural. The queens are there. No kills, though 1 ling was badly burnt. He'll spend some time in the Zerg treatment center. Regeneration is even better than healthcare. Interesting, INnoVation's keeping the concussive shells. Probably because Raynor's assuming he's gonna cancel it. It's the whole wheels within wheels thing that I love so much. But forget the upgrade, the real story is that the Overlord did not see the armory. INnoVation's going for that Hellbat timing. It's gonna be backed by a medevac. And concussive shell marauders apparently. Raynor's only going to have queens and speedlings. He's gambled on double Evo chambers. The timing was not ideal. This is going to be a very tough hold for our Zerg player. Oh, and there's gonna be a Liberator follow-up. Hellbat transformation. Oh, and the Viking lands behind it. This is gonna be a tough hold for Reynor. The only thing he's got going for him is he's got his queen count up to 6, and he's adding a 7. Those double upgrades are just gonna be way too late to help him. The Lings offer 0 resistance to the Hellbats. They're going after the hatch. The third is dropping fast. The queens are converging on INnoVation's strike force, and he's bringing up a spore. It's marching all the way from his natural. If it actually gets there, it can keep the medevac away. Inno gets a huge burn of 5 drones. The hatch is so close to death. The queens are trying to force him back, but no! The hatch dies, but the broodlings do give an extra punch that Zerg needs to pounce. Nope, the broodlings just melt, and Inno's coming right back. Reynor wasted exactly 0 seconds to rebuild that hatch, starting it right in the midst of live combat. And the Liberator's halfway to destination. Terran is finally forced back, I think, and the Liberator's gonna slip in at the main. Oh, but there is a spore there. INnoVation didn't see it, and it got a couple of softening shots off before he managed to pull it back. Oh, Zerg's gonna catch a Marauder on a bad rally. Nobody told him the battle was already over. Meanwhile, Terran saved his first Liberator, and his second one is just complete. INnoVation can either harass from 2 simultaneous locations, or fortify his main army with his next attack. Holy powering Batman, INnoVation's going from 1 barracks to 5. I'm seriously worried we're gonna see one of his patented Marine parade pushes. Reynor better buckle down, because I don't think the attacks are ever gonna stop. He's gonna try to counter with a handful of Lings, but INnoVation's Hellions are just gonna invite the contact. In the meantime, Terran's setting up for a Liberator sandwich. He's got one on each side of Reynor's territory. The north one slips past the 4th, or the alternate 3rd, and goes for the natural. Reynor is about to finish his 1-1 and take a lead up on upgrades. That's the only thing he's got going for him right now. Oh, there's a pink circle of death on the natural. And one on the main. Drones are under fire. A single queen responds at the natural. This can work as long as he micros it outside the circle. The queen has position. INnoVation resets the circle. Reynor moves to dodge. He soaks 1 shot, and he gets position again. Meanwhile, the spore relocates and kills the second Liberator. An incredible multitasking defense by Reynor. He held that off with nothing but a shoelace. And incredibly, INnoVation didn't get vision of the spire that Reynor's secretly making at his natural. Remarkably, even having lost 11 drones, Reynor is still ahead on workers. It sure doesn't feel like he's ahead on anything though. INnoVation has a much bigger army, and it looks like he's ready to wield it. Again, already. Reynor does have a Baneling nest this time, and he's working on Baneling speed. He needs it to finish right now. Oh, Reynor's queens are picking the worst time to add advanced creep tumors. They walk right into his army. One dies instantly, and the concussive shells are going to prevent another from getting away. He's going to need transfuse energy to hold this. The Banelings are ready, but it's going to be another 10 seconds before they have speed. Reynor tries to buy time. Will he have to lose his 3rd again? Spore goes down. The transfuse can't save it. Banelings go for the roll. They dodge around the Hellions. They want the Marines, but the Marauders take the Banelings down. But a second wave will force a liftoff. Reynor has found a way to hold yet again. Reynor makes a huge wave of 22 Lings. INnoVation is about to finish his 1-1 and go even on upgrades. Reynor tries to surprise INnoVation, attacking him off creep, and he has a much better Baneling contacts that time. Both sides are mining almost exactly the same at this point. INnoVation still has a much bigger army. With the aid of a scan, his surviving force is going to remove creep tumors in the middle of the map. There's 3 Widow Mines supporting those Marines, and 5 medevacs. He swings around to the north for Reynor's 4th. Both sides have started their 2-2. The Lings are here to defend, but they gotta be wary of those Widow Mines. Reynor takes position and the Marines begin to lay down suppressive cover fire. Reynor charges in, pulls back, and then pounces again. The medevacs with the hot pickup, but they leave the Widow Mines behind to be destroyed. Terran, though, seems hardly deterred. He's got plenty more where that came from. He's just initiated his 3rd attack on the 3rd. This time, though, it's smaller in size. Reynor's force is already here. He quickly fends it off, which signals INnoVation to begin another attack on the 4th. He stims in and then picks up. This has become a huge battle of multitasking and attention. Both sides have been microing complex army compositions for the last several minutes, non-stop. And somehow they're macroing on top of this. This is high-level StarCraft. Oh, Reynor's spire is done. He's starting a big round of mutas. Can the tech switch save him from the onslaught that is INnoVation's macro? The medevacs have been the difference maker for the last 2 minutes. Maybe the mutas will have something to say about it. Oh, terrible timing for Reynor again. He's trying to plant a fifth right as the Terran army marches through that location and stims. That poor drone's gonna need to be the luckiest drone in the world if he's gonna get through that gauntlet. Oh, he's actually gonna try. He's sneaking through. Is he gonna make it? No. Oh, I was so pulling for that little guy. But the real action is that after the Baneling hits connect, the mutas show up and go after the medevacs. But the Terran attacks continue unabated. All the while, INnoVation has set up a sensor tower outside of his third and he's building factories right in front of it. Can Raynor use his mutas offensively or will they be pinned down on defense forever? INnoVation started a Thor in reaction to the mutas. He's also researching Drilling Claw. That's going to let his Widow Mines burrow 3 times as fast and they'll stay invisible while reloading. Raynor's managed to work his muta count up to 9. That's going to help. INnoVation's floating a command center over to his 4th. And he still hasn't stopped attacking. 2-2 for the Zerg finishes just a fraction ahead of the Terran. There's no window there for Raynor. Both sides have massive economies, over 70 workers apiece. Over 2,000 minerals a minute. Raynor drops a scan and stims up the ramp on creep. The Banelings are going to force that back. But INnoVation just looks for another location. He's up to 57 Marines. And pretty close to maxing out at this point. Raynor's Banes just keep tracking that army as it shifts side to side. Oh, the Widow Mines expend their shots on Overlords. Raynor grabs an Overseer and takes advantage of the cooldown. Huge Baneling hits! Huge! The mutas have their chance to go after the medevacs. They pounce, but INnoVation's follow-up Marines arrive just in time and force everything back, saving his medevacs. INnoVation's godly macro is just too much. Even when Raynor's winning battles, he's losing. His muta count is 13, but he has not been able to deploy it effectively. He wants to be doing a tour of the Terran defenses, but INnoVation's not giving him the chance. There's 18 Banelings on the map with 17 more cocoons. If this kind of back and forth continues, I'm starting to feel we could get a Crimson Zone out of this. Just that single Thor does a fantastic job at blunting those Banelings. Only the armor upgrade prevents him from getting one shot. Oh, it's finally the muta incursion we've been looking for. But there's also so much action happening at the 4th. Raynor decides he's had enough and puts his Banelings on the Thor. If he doesn't, the Thor will destroy them. Somehow, INnoVation has stim Marines everywhere. Anywhere Raynor tries to go, they're there. Somebody tell these guys it's a best of 3. They're putting everything into game 1. I love it. If I was playing, I would have tapped out long ago just so I don't go into cardiac arrest. The muta pack is still looking for that opening. He can't expect to win this game if INnoVation's going to maintain the worker lead. Tearing down a reactor is a good start, and a contaminate on the barracks itself. We don't get to see that nearly enough. Who has time for micro like that? Raynor, apparently. Oh, 386 units dead. I'm really starting to get that Crimson Zone-y vibe. I know this game deserves it. Will they actually get there? Raynor destroys the sensor tower. INnoVation with the instant rebuild. Some people have the knee-jerk reflex. INnoVation apparently has the rebuild sensor tower reflex. He had to have started rebuilding that well before it was destroyed. It's like anticipative macro. Oh, another good Baneling connection. But Raynor's not done. There's plenty more. INnoVation with the splits. The Marine splits are good, but the Baneling splits are even better. Can the mutas get that Thor? No, INnoVation picks it up and carries it away with the medevacs. And suddenly the kill count is at 450. Thank you, Banelings. It's always a bit of a cheat with Banelings due to their suicidal nature. Though as INnoVation's Thor count steadily climbs, kills might become more sparse. Nah, who am I kidding? We got this. This is a bloodbath. Somehow, INnoVation always has time to macro his Marauders in front to take the Baneling hits. Every battle, Raynor either has to sacrifice attention or cost efficiency. Oh, but if he's on top of the workers, that could help. SCVs are taking hits, but more Baneling explosions in aisle 5. Oh, just give me 14 more kills, people. Entertain me, you digital gladiators. Just 2 more. INnoVation gets the all-important hatch, but I don't even care because we've hit the Crimson Zone. But while I'm celebrating, things are turning rather ugly for Raynor here. His third is under pressure, and his muta count is dropping. He needs them to defend at home. He needs them to attack abroad. And either way, they've got to face the Thors. The Banelings get the job done, but they're not cost-effective enough. Oh, but mutas destroying medevacs might be. Can he destroy the fleet here? No, the medevacs sneak away under the protection of stim Marines. With INnoVation, it feels like his units are in the medevacs and outside the medevacs at the same time. It's just unbelievable what he can do. Somehow, Raynor has managed to even up on supply. I feel though like his composition is running stale. He needs to take his tech to the next level. But if he takes his foot off the gas on unit production for even a second, is this game over? It's a flock attack on the 4th. The mutas take down the missile turret and there's only a few Marines here. Oh, but the cavalry arrives moments later. The mutas get driven off, only 3 SCV kills. And Raynor loses a muta in the exchange. Oh, I thought that was going to be much better for him. The next time he returns, there's going to be 4 times as many turrets. Ah, but Raynor's not done trying to generate offense. He's got a huge pack of Banes eyeing the 5th base location, which is right where INnoVation's looking to land. This game is going to become all about expansion sites pretty soon. INnoVation's Marines arrive and push Zerg back. Oh, I think he wanted to go for that. He had the advantage there. Maybe he decided it wasn't worth it because the CC hadn't yet landed. Regardless, he's going to rally in the northeast corner. INnoVation has the lead on supply once again, and with the mule advantage, he continues to outmine the Zerg. Raynor's going to try to take that center middle base yet again. It's been a tough location for him to hold. INnoVation's going to turn that newly landed command center into a fortress, and he continues to replenish the medevac fleet. He's also overtaken Raynor on upgrades. He's secured the 3-3. 3-3 stim Marines with combat shields for just 50 minerals. That's insane. Oh, there's a lone Marine trying to take down a hatch. That dude is so dead, the entire flock is going to descend on him. I do enjoy a good overkill. He's like, I'm a 3-3 Marine. Nothing can stop me. My mutas will blot out the sun. Then I'll die in the acid. This game has some crazy death animations. But kids, we do not support glorified violence. Except in the case of StarCraft, in which case it's cool. INnoVation wants that center middle base now. Oh, but big clash to the north. INnoVation's gonna get that hatch to the south. And Raynor's gonna send him packing to the north. But let's make it official. INnoVation is now maxed. He's building a bank and adding a command center in the bottom left. And with his defense set, he's just gonna drive at the Zerg. The Banelings are gonna defend the third. The resources lost statistic has climbed over 20,000 for both players. Oh, INnoVation's hitting the top right at the same time. The drones are pulled. He's gonna get the hatch. That's a serious blow for the Zerg. Raynor has won the battle at his third. He's gonna try and chase down those medevacs. He needs to clean those up. He gets 2, but the last 2 do get away. But there is no sign of quit in our Zerg player. He's gonna try to retake the northeast corner and he's gonna rebuild his hatch. This dude is doing everything he can. His APM even went over 1,500. And with a kill count over 700, I start to wonder if there's such a thing as a double Crimson Zone. There we go. Raynor is gonna try for Hive Tech. I think that's a must. I just don't know how INnoVation lets him survive that long. Oh, nice pickups here. That could be one way to do it. But INnoVation's resource base is so strong right now. He's just gonna remax and come back at the Zerg. I see Raynor's started the old research burrow at the 18-minute mark strategy. And here comes INnoVation again to the south. Marauders in front, and then the Widow Mines, and then more Marines than you can imagine. The bottom center hatch is splatted yet again. Now Inno's gonna try to push at that third. That's been a line that Raynor hasn't let him cross pretty much all game. Can the Terran do it this time? The Marauders push in. Raynor's waiting to regroup, but that might cost him the hatch. Here comes the Zerg. Hatch goes down. The Banelings hit the higher hit point targets, which means the Marines are free to follow up. Perfect tiered spacing by INnoVation. Raynor has to pull his mutas back to rescue because the Terran is pushing deeper and deeper into the Zerg territory. INnoVation is killing the Zerg while staying maxed and building a bank. He looks unstoppable. If Raynor's gonna mount a comeback, he's gonna need something huge. Picking off units isn't gonna cut it anymore. INnoVation is outmining him by a significant amount now. He might have to pull all his defense and go for one single push. But it's INnoVation that's pushing. He's bringing up the Thors. He's got a team of Marines chasing those mutas full time. Raynor's gonna defend the ramp to his natural. He goes after the Marines stuck in the choke, but they pull back. Great concave for the Terran. The Baneling count just drops. Raynor's started +1 flyer attack, but the mutas are getting thinned out at last. He hits the bottom left corner, which has been operating unimpeded for far too long. But the endless pursuit of the Marines does not abate. His precious flyers are looking pretty done. We can't see Reynor, but I think he's got the 5-mile stare. Yeah, there he goes. He tries to kill those Marines even though he doesn't have what it takes because he is tapping out. That was an explosive game. Is it just me, or does INnoVation look like he picked his game up? I mean, he's always been good, obviously, but I feel like he's returning to that top echelon that he lived in for so long. Rather than analyze the game, I just want to quickly show 2 clips that really made me smile. The first is this ridiculously lucky drone. Well, lucky till he dies, I guess. Raynor's just too busy to cancel his hatch build order. And INnoVation's units are all following default targeting orders, for which the drone is at the very bottom. The net effect is, this little guy slow walks through a horde of hell itself. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Rogue One where Donnie Yen walks into a horde of stormtroopers. The Force is with me. I am with the Force. And lasers are like whipping by him. Lastly, we don't want to miss the ultra brave Marine who tried to take on around 15 mutas all by himself, with predictable results and a great death animation. Oh, with a Crimson Zone game in Game 1, I'm pretty tempted to just upload it and call it a day, a great day. But if you have it in you, let's see if we can make this a series. Let's go to
Game 2.
Where do you go after an all-out Game 1? Eternal Empire, apparently. But what I really want to know is, hold that thought, we've got a suspicious SCV heading 12 o'clock. He's not dropping a depot, he's headed out onto the map. We mentioned it in Game 1, INnoVation likes to sprinkle in the 2 racks rush. That could be what we're seeing here. That's just a depot SCV. There's a second SCV. It is looking like a 2 racks rush. That means I gotta intro the players right away. This dude is INnoVation. He kinda knows his way around a keyboard. And the other dude playing Zerg in the north is Raynor. I hear he might know the right way to point a mouse. I know I've got the cheese graphic going, but this build is so prevalent right now, you might just say it's standard. A significant turning point is whether Raynor's initial overlord is going to spot it. Unlike Game 1, Raynor's going for hatch first. That is suboptimal. Will the overlord get vision of those Raxes? He's on course. No, he's changed course. Oh no, he caught it. He caught it just in the nick of time. An immediate reaction from Raynor. He pulls 5 drones. He's got to be cursing his luck. If he reversed his build orders from Game 1 and 2, he'd be so much better off. INnoVation's going to pull 4 SCVs to reinforce, but here come the drones. Can they shut down those builders? Big moment right here. Remember, a drone's got to poke an SCV 9 times. That's a lot of swipes with the claw, and there's not a lot of time. The first Rax is about to finish. There's our first blood. The second Rax is halted. The first one completes. Raynor gets the kill just a microsecond too late. The first Marine has gone into production. INnoVation's rush is a go. Raynor gets a 3rd kill. This is a pretty good response. Terran's SCVs are going to flee, but one of them tries to double back. There's a barracks that needs to be finished. Raynor puts all 5 of his drones on him. He needs to shut that down. But INnoVation succeeds again. The second Rax will complete. The consolation prize for Zerg is he saved all of his drones, and his spawning pool is 3/4 of the way to completion. There's the Indigo Geyser as the natural completes. Raynor's gonna need that larva. There's a heartwarming hug by 2 SCVs doing a mutual repair out there. But forget that touching moment, the rush is on! Here come the first Marines! Lings are in production, but they're not here yet. Raynor's drone goes for a peek and has to pull back. And bunker construction begins. If it completes, it will absolutely be in range of the hatch. Raynor's Ling order increases to 12. Queen is only halfway done. This counter-assault by Raynor will mean everything. Here come the Lings. Here come the drones. Second bunker starts. Stutter step micro by the Marines. But Raynor's priority is the building SCVs. He gets 1. He gets 2. The bunkers do not finish. The bunkers do not finish. Raynor is still in this. That Queen is about to pop. But INnoVation's Marine count has just climbed up to 6. Raynor wants to eliminate those bunker remnants. But the Marines are going to use that as a chance to get shots in. There's our spine. You know my ridiculous philosophy. There's no Zerg defense that can't be improved by a spine crawler. Second Queen arrives, which means INnoVation has to pull back, and those bunker remnants are forfeit. Raynor tries to sneak out a Ling. INnoVation tries to intercept, but the Ling gets clear. The Queens are going to march forward and try to get some free shots on the Marines. Both units have identical range. The Lings cluster forward, and INnoVation decides he has to pull back. That Ling escapee is rushing for the Terran base. Oh, I think INnoVation has just officially gone all in. He's pulled all his SCVs except for 2. He's gonna throw everything into one big attack. The spine completes. Raynor's gonna try to relocate it, but INnoVation's gonna attack right when it's in transition. Terran is up the ramp with everything he's got. The SCVs are gonna focus down that spine crawler with a group hug. The Marines are gonna fend off the Lings with their superior firepower. The Queens kill 11 SCV, 12, but the spine is done. And now INnoVation's using that stutter step to try to catch up on the drone kills. 12 Lings are on the way for Raynor. Zerg's gonna try to buy the time he needs by using Queen transfuses. INnoVation knows those Queens are so close to dead. He gets 1, but the Lings pop. And a fresh Queen arrives as well. INnoVation is in a lot of trouble. No, somehow the Marines are finishing off the Lings. Now they're going after the Queens. This is gonna be so close. Only 1 Queen left for Raynor. Only 3 Marines for Inno. He gets the Queen. Terran is unopposed, but it's Zerg who has the economy. He'll be reinforcing momentarily. Here come the next wave of Lings. He's gonna use his drones to tank. INnoVation has 5 Marines in the field. This is madness. Who's got this? Raynor's adding Lings, but INnoVation is killing them just as fast. Terran retreats down the ramp. Only 2 Marines left. Can Raynor finish him off? The Lings pour on them. 5 Lings on 2 Marines. A 3rd Marine comes to reinforce. It's 5 on 3. 4 on 2. No, it's 4 on none. Zerg is attacking Terran's only tech structures. Zerg is unopposed. And INnoVation taps out. Raynor ties up the series. We're going to a game 3. Man, I know on paper Raynor has that game once he completes that scout. But boy, was that close at times. A couple extra hits by INnoVation and Zerg falls. Raynor's response, though, just textbook poise. Hits the SCVs building the racks. Hits the drones building the bunkers. Non-stop Ling and Queen production. Something tells me INnoVation isn't feeling too down about this loss. He's quite possibly the steadiest player in all of StarCraft. But if he was feeling down, there's always an SCV hug to make him feel better. Aww. Enough of that. Let's get to Game 3. I'm not into bondage, but we are all tied up. This map on Golden Wall will be our decider. And they're not going to make us wait either. INnoVation sending out a suspicious SCV scout once again. There goes Batman, so where is Robin? We'll call the SCV making the depot Commissioner Gordon or something. He doesn't count. There's our Robin. It's another 2 racks rush. Our Zerg player's always up for a game. He'll take you on rain or shine. If you repeat the same rush strategy, can you really call it an innovation? Well, I think you can, because it's already a little bit different. He looks to be dropping his racks a little further back than last game. Raynor is once again going hatch first. You just got a feel for him that he did the right counter in game 1. The only game INnoVation didn't rush on. But Raynor has shown us, if he gets the scout off early enough, he can beat this. He's got 2 potential overlords that might hit this. But INnoVation is so far back this time, even if Raynor finds it, it might be too late. Just want to make a note of that gas. INnoVation did that in game 2. He even had 3 SCVs on it at one time, but he never used a lick of gas. Whatever it's supposed to be for, we didn't get to see it. INnoVation went all in instead, pulled his SCVs. There's that standard pool timing for Raynor. He's quite a bit behind. Slow Overlord number 1 looks like he might hit it. He might. No, he's turned away. He missed it. There will be no opportunity to kill or delay the building SCVs like there was in game 2. Rax number 1 gets built uncontested and the Marine is already in production. Rax number 2 completes. And once again there will be 2 SCVs available for bunker building. I think here they come. Until that hatch pops, it doesn't have a lot of vision. It just boggles my mind that he can't see it. It's right there! I mean, how do you not hear a supersonic construction project? Okay, the drones are going to spot it. He knows now. And he's got a ton of drones pulled and ready to fight. Can he shut down that bunker build? Inno has 2 Marines available to take pot shots at those drones. Pool's completed. Lings and Queen are in production. Raynor's rotating his drones. He's got to deny the Marine those kills. He gets the bunker building SCV. That's a first blood. But Inno's Marines retaliate, and he's got a second SCV on that bunker. It finishes. The jig is up. Raynor knows he has to pull back and wait for his Lings, at least if not his Queen. INnoVation's going to try to get up a second bunker. He's already begun to soften up that hatch. But with 1,500 hit points, Raynor's got some time. He can't panic. Well, maybe a little panic is in order. The Marines are starting to hit the mineral line. The Lings are coalescing. Raynor's gonna make his move. He's gonna pull everything at his natural. Here he goes! This has to work or the game is over for the Zerg. The drones are bringing down that bunker. They get the SCV making the second one. The Lings have the surface area they need and they pull it down and the Queen is here. Raynor's up to 6 Marines though. That Queen's not looking as scary as it should. Raynor's lost 5 drones at this point. Losing drones before the 3-minute mark really makes a big difference over the course of the game. But right now, Zerg just needs to dislodge the Terran. He really can't afford to build anything but Lings right now. Oh, INnoVation's gonna try to bag that Queen. The Lings are gonna come to her rescue. And Zerg clear out that Marine squad. INnoVation with the perfect stutter step micro. He's being driven back, but he is killing a ton of Lings. Raynor's lost 24 Lings already and is way down on the resources lost tab. Forget dislodging the Terran. Terran's actually battling back, at least long enough to salvage his bunker. Interesting historic footnote. At one time, the bunker salvage was 100%. You got all your money back. There was very little incentive not to build them. Anywho, INnoVation's decided now's the time for him to pull back. He's done some solid economic damage. He's got a worker lead of 8. He's got the lead. He doesn't need to throw it away by losing those Marines. Instead, he's going to try to macro Raynor to death. He's building a factory and a command center at the same time. And when he uses his second racks as a hot air balloon to scout, you'll see the only teching Zerg's doing is Ling speed at this point. He does see that Raynor's looking to counter with his Lings. This is a good call. He's paid for them. He should try to get some use out of them. But once his Marines escape behind that wall, there's not too much that Zerg can do. Am I seeing this right? INnoVation's going double command center? Yes, he is. I love this. Raynor's trying desperately to catch up on drones and farther behind than he thinks. He'd love to get something done with these Lings, but that is a well-defended ramp. He will see that there's a reactor on the way. He's got to be assuming Hellions, because that's what wipes out his Lings. At least Ling speed's about to finish. Raynor doesn't even really have the firepower right now to eject that Rax. INnoVation's going full macro. He's not making any units. His starport's right about to complete already. Oh, there it is. Double Hellion production. Raynor knows he has to gamble. Looks like he's going for hive tech. He needs a 2-base timing attack to try to inflict a significant amount of damage to catch up in this game. Oh yeah, Inno's Rax got the scout on that hive. Poor Raynor is so far behind. It's a fusion core. INnoVation is evil. He's got a battlecruiser follow-up for this, with a second starport. Yeah, there's the missing tech lab on that first starport. Raynor is officially on the clock until he faces double battlecruisers in his base. Raynor's Zergling's gonna bear witness to INnoVation's safety expand, but then he's gonna die. I'm really excited to see if Raynor can find a way to get back in this game. It's looking pretty impossible, but last I checked, it's still Raynor piloting this Zerg team. Inno's gonna grab 2 more gases. At least Raynor's even on workers at this point, though with triple mules they're hardly on equal footing. There's no wall at the natural. Can Raynor get something done with that? Ooh, he's starting a spine crawler. What he really needs is a spore, of course. He wants some added safety while he tries to tech. But the truth is INnoVation's out teching him anyway. Unless... a spire! That might be the best blind counter you can hope for. Were INnoVation's battlecruisers to conveniently hyperjump into a squad of waiting corruptors? That's a scenario that could flip the game. But I don't know. BC number 2's already begun production. Still no sign of spores. Oh, the orbital's lifting off. INnoVation's actually going to pick up a 3rd base. And he's going to choke off his natural with depots. Yeah, this is going to come down to an air battle. One that could be nasty, brutish, and short. You probably knew this, but the philosopher Thomas Hobbes was a StarCraft player. That's how the campaign unit, the Leviathan, got its name. Bad Philosophy 101 jokes aside, INnoVation's researching weapon refit. That's the new name for the Yamato cannon upgrade. Raynor's paid for an overseer. He's going to get a look at the Terran base. He is not going to like what he sees. He sees the fusion core. He's got this timed out, so he'll have his intel just as the spire completes. And just in case there was any question as to what INnoVation's strategy was, he's going to actually send a battlecruiser to gun down that overseer. Oh, man. Oh, I think that's the pre-hyperjump scan. He's certainly got the command center energy for that. Oh, Raynor gets supply blocked. Fortunately, started production of 6 mutas just before. Why mutas over corruptors, I wonder? Oh, there's our hyper jump. It's a double. It's the pink schematic outline of doom. It does give Raynor the seconds he needs to pull his drones. Raynor's only got 3 queens. The battle cruisers can almost fight them straight up. The mutas will have to be the difference maker. Raynor pulls back so he can coalesce his flock into attack as a stack. INnoVation's going to focus down another overlord, but he is not going to get the supply block this time. But he does focus down a queen. That is huge. Oh, 6 Hellions are here to support. INnoVation is going to drop a repair mule. That is so sexy. The Lings know their role and go straight for it, but the Hellions are there. It was a bait mule. That's so cool. Raynor's desperately trying to produce 2 more queens, and the Yamato cannons are about to come online. Zerg is getting crushed. A 3rd BC hyper jumps in to reinforce, and Raynor taps out. INnoVation wins the game. INnoVation takes the series. What are you dancing for there, Mr. Marauder? You weren't even in this game. Not gonna lie, Game 3 was a bit of a beatdown. That is a tough hold. I gotta wonder though, why mutas and not corruptors? Raynor obviously knows what he's doing. Did he feel he couldn't afford the extra 5 seconds the corruptors would take to hatch? Or was he thinking the corruptors wouldn't provide any offense? If he shuts down the BCs with the corruptors, he's got no way to counter and just falls further behind. I might be looking to survive the next wave. He might be looking long-term at the whole game. I really love, though, that trap INnoVation set at the end of the game. It's probably still fresh in your minds. He hides his Hellions. There's no ground targets for the Lings to fight. They're sitting around acting useless, getting frustrated. So INnoVation drops a mule to repair one of his battle cruisers. Raynor's on it instantly. Finally, something for his Lings to do. He pounces on the mule. But look where that mule drop happens. Right around the corner from the waiting Hellions. They pop around, and the Lings are an instant barbecue. So what happens now? Are you going to be suspicious of every mule drop INnoVation ever performs? You can't live under a blanket of suspicion. You gotta live life, because nobody wants to die and hold position. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.